never mind the car. Something's missing. It's all over. That's it. There's no point now, because that was all I had. That was my signature. That was my unique. That was the mascot of the channel. You know, that was what made Involvo'd. That was the only thing I had. I was even going to get t-shirts made. I was going to get merchandise made. I was going to sell my own Involvo'd mattresses from an Etsy shop. And now it's gone. So the channel's got nothing basically. That's it. It's over. It's over. Forget it. So it's finished. I'm closing it down. So hopefully today I'm going to finally finish this driver's side door. Yeah, this has been going on for a very long time, but today's the day. Hopefully you guys can see, the car's really dirty at the moment, but hopefully you can see that the driver's door, it's a little bit different. It's the colour's a little bit off compared to the rest of the car, and it's a result of a total amateur trying to fix it basically. It started with really bad peeling lacquer, me trying to sort of smooth that out, respray clear, well, going through to primer first through sanding, trying to smooth off a part of lacquer that had peeled away using way too strong wet and dry sandpaper, a way too coarse a grit, because that was all I had, where the base coat had been exposed for so long. As soon as I started to sand smooth that sharp lacquered edge to be able to then spray lacquer over the, you know, the matte part, the base part, I was down through to primer almost straight away. There was virtually no base coat left. Obviously it had been like that for a long time.
Nice.
I then had to spray more base coat, which didn't turn out too bad. But then when I sprayed the lacquer coat, that's when it all went really wrong. So actually I was using the wrong lacquer on the door. This is the problem when you live in a foreign country and you don't really know the language very well. So yeah, it's not glossy at all. I've got total matte finish on that one. Yeah, hopefully today we fix it. So basically what we've got now, it's just paint that's been like wet sanded and compounded to a shine. But now I actually want to do it properly. I've finally got the correct lacquer, because before I believe it was the wrong lacquer. We're about to find out. Is either lacquer or technique, probably both, but we're going to find out shortly. So yeah, so normally you wouldn't be wet sanding before a clear coat. You could wet sand your base coat like this if there's some issues with it, some orange peel, or it's uneven, or you know, there's some imperfections. But then you should put another layer of base on before your clear goes on, because if you wet sand the base coat, especially if it's metallic and there's some paint flecks and paint flakes and you know, all that shit that comes in paint to give it that colour and that sparkle, when you wet sand it, you will affect the look of it, the finish of it. So when you clear coat over the top of that, you'll have your shine, but it'll look different to the other panels because you've wet sanded away the, you know, the sparkles and the flakes and the effect in the paint. We might get away with it. We'll see how it looks. Hopefully it doesn't stand out too much. I don't want to be spraying more base coat again.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean that last application was terrible. I think the first one or two, I don't know how many it's been so far, I don't think they were too bad. The last one you probably saw I was like all over the place. So first impressions, just pulled it out of the shed, first look in daylight, and I would say it looks shit, but not as shit as the last time, so basically that's a success. Wet sand compound, and I think it will turn out alright. Let's see if I'm going to be eating my words or not. Going to go in with 2000, it should be enough, and then obviously a cutting compound afterwards. I'll start with 2000 and then work up to 3000 just to try and get that extra bit of shine. So now the 2.5. It's definitely looking very orange peely, I have to say. Now 3000 grit, lastly. So you may have seen this in my other video, albeit briefly, but yeah, Menzerna heavy cut compound. Really good stuff, not the cheapest, but for a reason. It's one of the better ones you can get. Obviously, you're gonna get much better results with buffer. Well, there's not green, bluey paint on the cloth, which is a good sign. It means we haven't gone through all our lacquer. Yeah, there's way too much orange peel for a good shine, but I can see my reflection. I can see how many fingers I'm holding up, that's the main thing. We'll leave the car a little bit dirty at all times and no one will notice. It's not really good enough, is it? But I don't know, I mean, it's a pass, isn't it? Let me just remind you of the roof again before you go too hard on me and say, oh, you're fucking ruining that car. Yeah, it's just a bit too hazy, isn't it? Compared to that, I mean, the car's not clean, but you can see all these scratches all over it. I mean, it's just absolutely covered. I mean, literally every square inch of this car on the outside, there's a scratch, or there's something. A scuff, a stone chip, a spider. Disgusting. Yeah, so I'm going to go one more round with this stuff, just because I feel like wasting even more money. I'm going to give it a quick coat of this stuff before the rain. To see if it helps at all. Probably not.